Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're doing well. I have a pretty large book haul here from three different bookstores. The first I'll be talking to you about is from Al-Balaghbooks. The second is from Zakaria Books. And the third is from Sifatusafwa. So let's get started. And this might be kind of a long video. So this stack here, you can see the edge of this book here it's a pretty high stack. Firstly, this is from al-Balaghbooks. So I'm teaching Nahu this year, so I want to develop myself in Nahu. I've studied Hidayatul Nahu, I've studied Qawaidul Lughat al-Arabiyya, I've studied some other books. I've taught Tuhfatul Saniyya, which is a sharh by Sheikh Muhyiddin Abdul Hamid on Ajurumiyya, things of that sort. But I want to go to the higher stages of Nahu. I think I can read it on my own, inshallah, but there are durus online. So I remember our asatidha telling us that Kafiya used to be in our syllabus, but then it was replaced with Qawaidul Lughat al-Arabiyya, which I have talked about in older videos. But here I purchased Al-Kafiyatu fi Nahu, written by the famous Ibn al-Hajib, Imam Ibn al-Hajib al-Maliki. So this is a Bushra print. Bushra prints are great for Tullab because they have like very beneficial hawashi. Now Bushra prints, I don't think they're like muhaqqaq and have so many nusakh khatiyya and stuff like that. They don't even show what nuskhas they're using. But for Tullab and for just students who are trying to get the knowledge and not necessarily like every dabt of every different manuscript and the accuracy in that regard, it's fine, inshallah. So I was planning on studying Kafiya, and then of course those of you who have studied, many of you have studied these kutub, mashallah. I've heard many saying that if you want to understand the falsafa and the philosophy of Nahu, then Mulla Jami, Sharh al-Jami on al-Kafiya. Right, so I had to get it. You can see how much thicker it is than Kafiya. This one has some hawashi. It says mutafarriq hawashi, as well as the hashia of Abdul Rahman bin Mahmud rahimahullah. Now it doesn't really say much more about his name, but here also Maktabat al-Bushra, as you can see, this is a commentary on al-Kafiya. So these are all from Al-Balaghbooks. If you really want them, they're probably in stock. Now I already have Mufradat of Imam Raghib al-Asfahani, but that was a Qadimi Kutub Khana print, and those of you who know Qadimi Kutub Khana know that, you know, that's when you're a talib al-ilm, you don't have much money and there's no other options. Now I'll only buy those types of books if there's no other version available. So I bought, finally, this is Darul Qalam's edition of Mufradat Al-Fadhil Quran of Imam Raghib Asfahani. Now if you don't know what this book is and you're a student of Quran, please get this kitab. This is necessary. This is actually necessary whether you're a student of Quran or you're Fariq or something. If you don't have this kitab, you need to get this kitab. All of those beautiful points that, you know, these mufassirs nowadays are making regarding fiqhul lugha, like this word comes from that root and that etymology, and this is the ishtiqaq, and this is the nuance that we can get from the word. You'll find that to a high degree in this kitab. This is just a very beautiful edition. So I was like, you know, I just have to get this. So my previous edition, I'll probably be giving it away to one of my students or, you know, someone who I feel is going to use the kitab. Next, this is a commentary, a hashia on a commentary on Tasrif al-Izzi. Tasrif al-Izzi is a very famous kitab in Sarf. So hashia Dada Jonki. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Dada Jonki. And it's chonky with the cha. They made sure they put the 3 dots on it. على شرح التصريف العزي لسعد الدين التفتازاني. So the hashia or the sharh is of Imam Taftazani, who is Imam al-Ma'qulat, and this hashia of Dada Chonki. It's not Dada, it's Dada. You can see that Dada. So I don't know if this person is he like related to Sheikh Didu, right? Or is he Indian? Or he must be Indian if he has a cha over here, chonki, right? This is an Urdu letter. It's not available in Arabic, but it's a very beautiful print here. Daru Tahqiq al-Kitab. So, deeper sarf, just trying to get into Arabic a little bit more. And the last book that I got from al-Balaghbooks, I was about to check these books out, right? Because I just wanted to get Kafiya, Mulla Jami, and then I found this Sharh Hashiyah of Tata Chonki. Then I saw a book that I was chasing after. I was hunting this book, and I lost hope. So this book was on Qurtuba Books, and I've been searching for it for a very long time. I've heard about it since I was in South Africa. I'm talking like a good 10 years ago. And it came out, it was available, but it's actually rare. So those of you who have the book, congratulations. It's a rare book. I've been looking for it. There was one last one available on Qurtuba Books. It got sold out. I waited too long, and then I had this regret. So as soon as I saw this on al-Balaghbooks, I was like, I gotta get it now. So before I talk to you about this book, Ahkam al-Quran, under the auspices of Hazrat Maulana Tanwi, rahimahullah. I have it here. I could get it out let me get it out for you guys. It would be an injustice not to mention the whole story fully. So Ahkam al-Quran of Maulana Tanwi can be found in 4 volumes. It's actually 5 volumes in 4 mujallads. This is the Ahkam al-Quran under the auspices of Maulana Tanwi, meaning he was the mushrif, he was the supervisor, and I believe Mufti Shafi' Uthmani, Maulana Dhafar Ahmad Uthmani, I think Maulana Idris Kandahlawi, and some others were involved in this project, which is Ahkam al-Quran. There's a tatimma to the Ahkam al-Quran. There's an addition, and this tatimma is enormous. I think this is 13 volumes. So it starts with the next volume after these 5, and it goes all the way to 17. Now 17 doesn't mean 17 mujallads, it's 17 volumes, and this is the tatimma of it. So it's a very huge, it's maybe double the original Ahkam al-Quran. This is just one volume. The others are in a box here, so I'm not going to pick up the whole thing. And also, it doesn't make a picture with the spines. The pages are not good quality. These are, that newspaper pages, and I feel like if I open up the binding, wide, it'll tear and it'll fall out. But because the book is so rare, I just had to get it. And at least the Arabic is legible. It's not like handwritten. It's computer typed. So I was very happy to find that there. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to check out right now before it gets sold out. So that's what I got from al-Balaghbooks. Then I want to share with you what I got from Zakaria Books, which is a UK-based seller. I've bought from them before. You guys perhaps have seen those book hauls. They are a good seller. The books are priced very well. It's just shipping. And I've recently found out that they've actually managed their shipping costs. They're able to bring it down much lower now. So that's even better for Tullab. I'm not sure practically how that looks like. I think I might have bought it before the shipping costs went down. So, until next time I purchase from them, I won't be able to comment on that. But here are the books that I purchased. اليواقيت والجواهر في بيان عقائد الأكابر by the famous Sheikh Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani. You got the other Ibn Abdul Wahhab, who's the father of the Salafis, and you have this Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani, who is the opposite, complete Sufi, but a great Imam in all of the fields of Sharia, a very great scholar. So this is Aqa'id of I believe the Akbaris, meaning those who follow the school of Ibn Arabi, the Theosophical school of Imam Shaykh al-Akbar, hence the name Akbaris. And he says, في بيان عقائد الأكابر. Akabir, not the Akabir of Deoband. It's much, I think Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani, much before Deoband. 972 he passed away, if I'm reading that correctly. So this is Bayanu Aqa'id al-Akabir, yani the school, the Akbari school. If I'm not, mistaken, I haven't read the book, obviously, I just got it. I went on I went to Florida for a retreat. I did some programs there. I met a تلميذي بالأمس وصديقي اليوم, a former student of mine who was, mashallah, obviously surpassed me in ilm. He told me, I was asking about this, like, where do I go to find out about the Akbari school of Theosophy? And he was like, this is a really good book. So I went online, I saw it was available on Zakaria Books. So this was the main purchase. Usually, as I mentioned before, I'll usually have like a main purchase from a bookstore, the reason why I'm going to that bookstore. And then I'll shop around and find other things that, interests me. And then I'll make a big purchase. Because if I buy one book and then the shipping is like 3 times the cost of the book, it doesn't make sense to me. So then I end up buying much more. And of course, it's not like, fluff. These are books that I really want. The next book here, كواشف زيوف في المذاهب الفكرية المعاصرة, has a kasra on the صاد, معاصرة. Written by Sheikh Abdurrahman Hassan Habannaka al-Maidani, very famous scholar. He's written really great works. I have many of his books, spanning from ضوابط المعرفة to his book on Amr bil Ma'ruf Nahy al Munkar, to his book on Balagha, to his book on forgetting the other book I have of his. He has some really good works. So this is actually modern day philosophies and rad on them, the Islamic stance on them. So he goes into, like, he has a chapter on, here I'm looking at Descartes. Then he has, a chapter on Kant, and then he has a chapter on various other philosophers and his rudud on them and the Islamic position. الدرة الفاخرة في تحقيق مذهب الصوفية والحكماء والمتكلمين by Mullah Jami, Al-Mullah Abdurrahman Al-Jami. So here he talks about the differences between the Wahdatul Wujudi Sufis, the Hukama, meaning the philosophers, and the Ilm al-Kalam scholars regarding the concept of wujud, regarding different aspects of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tahqiq done by Sheikh Sa'id Fuda, very famous scholar amongst the top Ash'ari scholars of our time. So the differences in Aqidah in that regard, specifically Ilahiyat, amongst the three schools. Then we have Sharh Mullah Jami wal-Isam ala Risalat al-Adudiyya fi ilm al-Wad'i. So again, Mullah Jami. He's also the, if I'm not mistaken, the scholar who wrote Sharh al-Jami on Al-Kafiyah that I showed you earlier. So this is his work on the book of Imam Adududdin about Wada', Ilm al-Wada', which is another aspect of, I think it's a crossover between Mantiq and Arabiya. So philosophy of coining words. Thereafter, Sheikh Nuruddin al-Sabuni. This is a great Hanafi, Maturidi mutakallim of the past. Al-Muntaqa min Ismat al-Anbiya. Al-Muntaqa min Ismat al-Anbiya. So this is a book on Ismat al-Anbiya. Now, exactly what is covered here, I don't know. I haven't read the book, but I know about Sheikh Nuruddin al-Sabuni. He's not to be confused with the more contemporary Sheikh al-Sabuni who passed away recently, the scholar who was involved in tafsir. This is a different Sabuni. Another book by Sheikh Nuruddin al-Sabuni, it looks the same. They're printed by the same publisher. Different muhaqqiq, Al-Kifaya fil Hidayah. So this is his longer version. He has his Al-Bidayah, which is a book on Aqidah, Maturidi Aqidah, and this is going to be his higher level Aqidah book. Thereafter, another book of the Akbaris, I believe, again written by the same scholar, Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani. He passed away in 973. I read that wrong. I said 972. فصوص اليواقيت والجواهر في بيان عقائد الأكابر. It says on the top, ينشر لأول مرة. First time this is being published. This book is pretty damaged. I'm not blaming the bookstores. Maybe they got it this way. Allahu alam. I'll have husnul dhan. But the book is, as you can see here, pretty bent, like it got hit somehow right there. Not a great publication. It just seems like kind of bland, not cream paper, not strong binding. What you really want to see, but it's khair, inshallah. The next book, Sharh al-Khirabadi ala matni Hidayat al-Hikmah. So Hidayat al-Hikmah, a very famous book written by Imam Athiruddin al-Abhari, regarding just like a primitive philosophy. So the Sharh of Khairabadi, which Khairabadi is it? So there's three famous Khairabadis, the grandfather, son, and then grandson. The grandfather is Imam Fadl Imam, if I'm saying his name right, Fadl Imam Khairabadi. Then his son is going to be Fadlul Haq Khairabadi. And then the grandson, Abdul Haq Khairabadi. So this is the Sharh of the grandson, Abdul Haq bin Fadl Haq, who is the son of Fadl Imam Khairabadi. I believe Fadl Imam Khairabadi was the author of Mirqat, the famous Mantiq Kitab. So this is a sharh. Like these Khairabadis were Imma in Ma'aqulat. They were top level scholars in the Ma'aqulat, Mantiq, Falsafa, those fields. So this is a commentary on this book. Again, this book is pretty damaged. You can see the bottom there. I'm not sure if you can see all of this here. If it's focusing, you can see the back here. Let's see if it focuses. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Like it was hit really hard right here, so it like bunched up. But khair, what can you do, right? When you order from a different country and it's coming in, it's not like you can return the kitab. But khair. And then the last book that I got from Zakaria Books is, I already have the Sharh of Imam Taftazani on Talkhis al-Miftah, the famous Sharh, which is the Mukhtasar al-Ma'ani. So I have that in a good print by Darut Taqwa, I believe. So I saw they were selling the Mutawwal version. So basically, from what I understand, Imam Sa'aduddin al-Taftazani has two commentaries on Talkhis al-Miftah, which is a very famous book in Ilm al-Balagha. Actually, I'm going to talk about that soon. So this is the Mutawwal version, the longer version of the commentary. He has the Mukhtasar version, which is studied in many madaris after Talkhis al-Miftah. So this is Sharh Talkhis al-Miftah al-Mutawwal. There's no real name for it. It's just called the longer version by Imam al-Taftazani. And this, the size of this book is quite large. So this would be like a normal size book. See here? And then, as you can see here, it's much larger. Put it right here. This is much larger. This is a very beautiful edition. So Darul Lubab, they got some beautiful printing. And I think it's like 900 pages. Let's see. Yeah, with the Faharis and the indexes, it's like over 1,000 pages. So these are the books that I got from Maktaba Zakaria Books, which is a UK-based seller. Check them out. They're very famous. They have such a huge selection. It will take you hours to choose what you want to buy. Sometimes it takes me days. Like I'm scrolling, I'm looking at it. It's a vice, but may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help me. Not buying the kitabs. Buying the kitabs is not a vice. But the scrolling and looking at the kitabs and shopping and spending hours on that. But that's what's needed to get these kitabs. Next, I have just 3 more books, if you bear with me, from Sifatusafwa. The first one, it's connected to what we just talked about. This is Talkhis al-Miftah of Imam al-Khatib al-Qazwini from the same publisher, Darul Lubab. A very beautiful edition. I already had Talkhis al-Miftah, but that was like a Maktaba Bushra edition. So this is just a very beautiful cream paper, muhaqqaq, very nice edition of Talkhis al-Miftah. What is Talkhis al-Miftah? It's one of the most appreciated and studied Balagha textbooks in Arabic rhetoric. Little brief history about Balagha. Abdul Qahir al-Jurjani, very famous scholar. He has 2 very famous books in Balagha, Asasul Balagha and Dalailul I'jaz. Those 2 books were kind of absorbed and added into a book called Miftahul Ulum by Imam al-Sakkaki. Miftahul Ulum can be found still today and commentaries on it. It covers Sarf, Nahw and Balagha, Miftahul Ulum. So he took the works of al-Jurjani and kind of condensed it into that work. Then al-Khatib al-Qazwini, he took the work of al-Sakkaki, specifically focusing on the Balagha aspect of Miftahul Ulum, and he wrote Talkhis al-Miftah, يعني تلخيص مفتاح العلوم of al-Sakkaki. So then his book became very famous. He summarized it, he added, he changed some stuff. it became very famous, and that is like one of the top level balagha textbooks that you can study, and the commentaries of Taftazani, the Mukhtasar and the Mutawal that I just showed you now. Now, Imam Qazwini, the author of Talkhis al-Miftah, also wrote the commentary to that work. So that commentary is here, Al-Idah li Talkhis al-Miftah, written by the same author who wrote Talkhis al-Miftah, but it's much thicker. This is Idah and this is Talkhis al-Miftah. This Talkhis al-Miftah actually has a lot of hawashi, so it's not supposed to be this thick. But the Hashia, or his commentary, is supposed to be this thick. There's a lot of information here. And finally, Jazakallah khairan if you made it this far. If you did make it this far, please leave a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment. I do read all of your comments and try my best to respond if it's something to respond. And of course, subscribe to the channel, share with others if you find benefit in all this material. Last but not least, Maqamatul Hariri. Maqamatul Hariri. There is a mixed relationship with this book from the students in the madrasa. We studied this book. We only studied maybe 10% of the book. This book, the fun of maqamat. Maqamat, we're not talking about maqamat of the voice here. We're talking about maqamat as a field in literature. It is a certain style of writing. A lot of rhyming, but a lot of it's nathar, it's prose, it's not ash'ar, but there's a lot of high level vocabulary there. And so he has these fictitious characters. He has, I think, Harith al-Hammam is his name. This is the main character of the book. And Harith al-Hammam, Harith bin al-Hammam, or al-Harith bin Hammam. Let me correct myself. He is this individual who's going on travels, and he keeps on finding this character. What is his name? Abu Zayd Saruji. Abu Zayd Saruji. And this Abu Zayd Saruji is a very odd individual, and this character, the main character Al-Harith, he keeps running into him and seeing him in these very different situations. And then Abu Zayd Saruji gets out of those situations by using his eloquent tongue. And the whole thing is written, these are stories, I think it's around 50 stories. And it's written in this beautiful nathar and prose with high level Arabic. So it's a treasure trove for those who are trying to learn Arabic vocab. Almost every line you're going to have to check up 5-10 times. Sometimes every single word you need to check up in the dictionary. And sometimes when you get better, it's less than that. But this edition, it may seem unsightly to some, but to me it's very beautiful. This is very beautiful. And so on the hawashi on the sides, it's the commentary Sharhul Kalimat. So the words that are difficult in the matan, which is in the box, he'll have the commentaries here. So you have these chapters. These are fictitious tales, but it's meant to develop an individual in their adab and their Arabic vocab. So I had to get it because I'm trying to improve my Arabic. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that a reality this year. And we've done some of those maqamat that I mentioned, about 5 to 7. I'm not sure exactly how many. That was how much was muqarrar in our syllabus when we were studying. So I hope you benefited from this video. There's so many different books I have here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and you tawfiq to buy kitabs, get kitabs, have them in our house. They're a source of barakah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to read them, benefit from them, and share them with the world, inshallah. Jazakallahu khairan wa sallallahu tabarak wa ta'ala ala khayri khalqi Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.